What's going on, Tamers? Welcome to DigiPod, the digital podcast. I'm your boy Varney, today in the studio with my boy Dan and also Albert. His name is Albert Leyva. He is a former member of Luxury Gaming's Digimon team and a current, mainly One Piece, but also Digimon player. What's going on, Albert?
Nothing much. Just really excited to dive in this podcast with you. I know jokingly I've been telling you, like, commenting, let me join the podcast. And, you know, at first I thought it was just like, you know, me and you teasing each other, you know. But I'm glad and thankful that you guys are allowing me on this podcast today to talk about.
And well, you're here.
I'm a serious guy. I don't say shit I don't mean. You know, I'm not gonna say, "Hey, babe, I love you," and then now try to follow up on that. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I'm not about them sweet nothings. You know, I'm saying I'm a lover boy.
You soft? Is that what you said?
Soft? Sure, I'm soft. I don't like pain. The other day at kickboxing, I'm out here kicking the bag, and I'm like, I could try to power through my pain, or I could take it easy and you know, just play it chill. And I was like, you know what? I fucking took it easy. The fuck, I'm fucking overworking myself. Next thing you know, I tore a muscle. The fuck? No.
You have to go full in, balls to the wall, hit him as hard as
full
possible.
in, balls to the wall. Next thing you know, I'm at home, right? And I'm like, hey, babe, I can't move. Is my leg supposed to look like this?
It's like all swollen up and like blown up.
I don't like pain. We don't deal with pain here.
Oh my God.
The only pain we deal with is card game heartbreak pain. That's the only pain we deal with here.
Okay.
Yeah, when you hit the chaos deck,
or hitting the chaos deck insecurity, taking Fenrir into tournament and that deck looking you in the eyes and saying, yeah, we're not gonna work with you today, as you completely and utterly brick out. Or in my case, going up against Yellow Vaccine and not seeing your Dexmon and watching as they continue to build a board that you just can't interact with.
It's a tragic lifestyle right there.
Tragic lifestyle. Y'all will see it on YouTube soon. Keep an eye out for those videos that Dan and Adrian so lovingly love to mock me for. And I said, the people asked for it, so the people got it. Anyways, we're going to hop into our topics. Y'all already know what the first thing we talk about is locals. So this past locals, I decided to keep on my Hexablow and Dianamon jank. It's fun. I like it. But you begin to see the difference in like a tier 1 and a tier 2. I'm not calling it a tier 2 deck. I'm just stating what I observe. You begin to see the difference between a tier 1 and a tier 2 deck. Go ahead, Dan.
Let's backtrack. You see the difference between a tier 1 and 2 deck versus your tier 10 deck. I'm
not trying to call it anything. I'm just trying to say there's a very clear distinction, and I think like that's going to be something that's really heavily looked at going into the next format with Magna X. Because it's not just Magna X. I mean, sure, Magna X is cracked, but there's a lot of other good decks as well. And you just see the difference between like good deck, admittingly good deck,
and cope,
and a locals deck. No, a locals deck. I'll call it a locals deck. It's a deck I built that I was like, I'm gonna go have some fun at locals. And did I have fun at locals? Yes. Would I ever take it into a major tournament? No, not in the slightest bit. I wouldn't even try to lab it. I wouldn't even go home and be like, what can I do to make this deck better that might make me compete in a tournament? No, not even. Not to that level. Marvin's Machines, that I had some like major level of cope for. Azulong, Diana and Hexpa. No.
Oh my God. You should talk about your round one.
I was just about to say, I sat there for an hour and a half. I shit you the fuck not. It was an hour and a half. I know, because I looked at the fucking clock. I sat there for an hour and a half against fucking the double Typhoon starter deck ×2. This is literally all the fuck it was. And I was like, why am I still playing this game? And it's not, I was like, no, fuck him, because he was sitting there watching his laptop the whole time. And I was like, I don't have the heart to like say like, yo, bro, focus on your fucking game. Cause like, I know how he is. Not that I didn't want to upset, I'll upset him. But like, I know that, like, I know what he's about. So I'm like, no, I'm just like, you go ahead and like every 30 seconds or so, he'd be like, meanwhile, I'm sitting there like this.
That's crazy. Against a double Typhoon structure deck too. That is insane. That deck is pretty cheeks in my opinion. Anything that long.
I sat there for an hour and a half watching this man's take. Let's see, if I had to break it down, I probably spent 20 minutes on my turns to his hour and 10 minutes. That's probably what it was like. But again, I know what it's like. And I was like, there was only, what, 6 of us?
Yeah, unfortunately.
I was like, nobody's going to fucking complain. If anybody complains to me, I'm going to tell y'all to fuck off. Because I was like, I'm not tying against this guy. I was like, I know I can kick his ass. I just need him to fucking like hurry the fuck up.
Yo, I looked at him. I was like, what round you at, dog? What game you're in? He was like, starting game 3. I was like, what you doing? He was like, fuck you.
Shit. I was like, fuck up. I'm not dealing with this shit. I was like, I'm not tying against this guy.
I was crying.
No, I was crying at man's afterwards comments. I was like, bro,
it's wild. I don't even think it's pod. Like we can't even say that on pod. The shit
I'm not gonna say what he said, but
he said something wild.
He said some shit. My man's is, I'm just gonna say, I'm not gonna say anything actually.
No,
I'm not gonna say anything.
It's fine.
Just know that this motherfucker said some offhand ass shit. Not like offensive. Offensive if you didn't know him. Offensive if you didn't know him. Offensive. Yeah, offensive if like he was in the middle of the street and he yelled it out, he might have gotten jumped. But like, not like, you know, I know him. Dan knows him. We ain't gonna say shit.
Albert, if you remember after the pod, remind us and we'll let you know if you want to know.
You know how many people gonna be asking us after pod what he said?
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
I love story time. I love tea, bro. Like it's just local stories are the best because you get hit with the most random stuff ever, man.
Fact, you really did.
So that's the TLDR. That was the only match that I won because I lost to Dan playing Dark Masters Omnizoo. That was the match that like drove it home for me. I was like, wow. So like if I was playing like any of my other like good decks, I could actually beat this deck. But like I can't even beat Dark Masters Omnizoo. Like I can stun him. But like what does that do for me when he's just like, okay, I'll just Digivolve in the merciful mode and pop your shit. And I'm just like, oh, I guess I'll just build up another stack again. Not like it wasn't hard enough for me to do that the 3 times before you did that shit. So yeah, I was like, all right, cool. A locals deck. I had fun though. I enjoyed it. I don't regret it. Not the way like I played Yellow Vaccine. That I regretted tenfold. That shit immediately got bindered. This deck I actually enjoyed, and it actually will continue to live on as a deck.
You know, I'm glad that you said that your Yellow Vaccine got bindered because my opinion, I mean, I don't really like play the game as much as I do, but going by myself, like turn results and like playing like Yellow Vaccine in the past and like up to like Nats format where it was a big thing. And even till now I see the support. I honestly think that Yellow Vaccine isn't that good of a deck. Like I don't see how people are topping with it. I mean, I could just be wrong, but I honestly think that deck is like
I'll tell you how. I'll tell you because I played and it was a very winnable matchup for me. So I'll tell you how they win with it. It's called everybody doesn't like recovery because recovery is a busted mechanic, right? And like I get it. Unfettered recovery can definitely be an issue, but like that deck can fold really easily, especially depending on like what you see as the opposing deck. I was playing armors and I was undefeated up until that point. I played that Yellow Vaccine player, and I definitely had a winnable game if I was able to generate anything. He just was able to. Their thing is they generate a lot of advantage really quickly, but at the same time, sometimes they can't rebuild as fast, which is the problem that I encountered playing the deck. There's no protection. So like when your shit gets popped, Sure, they have barrier. Who the fuck gives a fuck about barrier when like you can delete or bounce or DP reduce and all that shit? So that was my issue with it. I couldn't generate draw power, so I ran out of hand advantage really fast because I ran like a lot more like the jamming aggro variant. So I didn't have the Tokomon egg for draw. And then, okay, cool. I just popped off and I did a turn. Now they come back and they just pop off and wipe your board. And then you're like, well, fuck. Now I got to try to like pop off round 2. And then I just wasn't able to close games out that way. I know my opponent, not a slight on him at all, but basically that matchup was a big back and forth that went to time. We were in game 3 and if I was just able to see some stuff a little bit earlier than I saw it in both of the games that I lost, I would have had it. That is just what it boils down to. I don't think it's a bad deck, but it definitely takes a lot of really good matchups to win compared to some other decks.
It does have a lot of
I would never played in a tournament.
The best turn one play for them is literally Evo in the back with Padma, and then you go TK.
Pada TK.
And you just set up so much memory gain, like turn after. So you raise, get the free champion, gain the memory off the pad, and then you gain the memory off the TK. So you get like a lot of advantage quickly off of that, and then you go like pop off. But if you don't see that Pada turn 0, turn 1, whatever you want to call it, it's like you start off badly. I think like you have to like I think that's the
even
only
that
deck
TK
where I've seen where you mulligan for a rookie no matter what your hand is. If you don't see Padamon, you mulligan instantly because that's how great that Padamon is for the deck.
It's the Padamon and also definitely the TK because like like you said, the simple Padamon TK play that takes them up to what, like 3 memory. That's just like a fucking memory setter on its own. Yeah, that's just like a memory setter on its own. It's like, oh well, fuck you,
you're
buddy.
Saying if you put them at like 1, right?
Yeah, like if their turn 1 play is Pada TK, if you put them to 1, it's like, all right, cool. Raise, Digivolve, Pada effect, and then TK effect. I'm up to 3, Digivolve Magnace, recover 1, Serafi, recover 1, or Mitan, whatever the fuck they do. Or they just leave the Anjumon chilling on board there because it's an obvious ace threat and the fuckers play 8 aces. It's like, it's just like a very annoying deck. It's like, it's not even like it. I think it's good. It's good because it's annoying. Not good because it's like Secon, right?
Yeah, I think it has a good early game, but versus late game, like you said, like once you get past, like it has no protection, right? So once you get past that first build and they try to build again and you already established a board, it's just falling behind again because they have the tempo on you. But once that first stack is gone, it's gone. Like they can't. It's so hard to recover back. It makes you feel like you want to play Analog Boy, Analog You, just to like catch the egg. If it dies, and do it all over again next turn. Yeah.
You know what I would love to do? I would in that matchup, I'd love to play me some fucking Brigade, some Commandramon, because I'd be like, oh, cool. You got a bunch of stacks built on aces, do you? Be a shame if I Digivolve that bitch, and then I pop that dumbass, and then you lose. Yeah, DCD bomb. But it's not even just DCD, because if they just leave an ace chilling out there, it's like, all right, cool. Brigademon pops play cost 7.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's enough board state, like their biggest thing, I think they probably run like the 1 decks, and probably they run ruin mode over decks. It's like, sure, like a ruin mode could take out your board. Sometimes they run both, yeah. So sometimes that ruin mode can take out your board. But then
but it's so weird because Yellow Vaccine, like a counter to Yellow Vaccine is a Dexmon. Like because they just so happen to have like a bunch of tamers on board.
Yep.
The moment they have like 2 bodies on board, it was like, all right, cool, 5 calls Dex coming. And so you always got.
I swear on my life, I was like,
you gotta have the Dex on play.
That whole tournament
in that matchup.
I wished I had a second Dex on. I was like, never in any of my matches before this did I wish I had that second Dex because I just couldn't see it for the life of me. I was like, I know if I pull into Dex, I win this game.
I kid you not, I was playing testing with Gino. I think he was playing Yellow Vaccine. I think I was playing Numon or something like that because he wanted to see how the matchup was. I was like, it's probably like 50-50 depending on who sees what. And then just in that like play testing we did, I was like, oh, okay, Dex is an important card. Let me, if I see in my hand, make sure I don't mulligan, no matter what my hand looks like. Because Numon is just a weird deck here. It's like, I got a bunch of champions and Dex, I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? So like, it was like one of those things where I was like, all right, I drew into the Dexmon, cool, no problem. I'll wait until you have a bunch of tamers on board and have a little, body going on. Boom, drop Dex. Get rid of ace plays, get rid of, whatever champions are low end, and then just kill it from there with like, Monzimon or Monza X and stuff like that. It's quite interesting how Dex against that deck is really a hindrance.
I know, right? Yeah, it is funny. It's like back in like the BT9 days. When it's like, you got like 3 cool boys and
yeah, exactly. Alpha one. Bye.
Nice.
Right. Drop this for 5 and get rid of your board.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that an egg? Oh, gone. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, you became a Dorimon from your Oryukin? Ooh, that's tough,
What's
buddy.
A Dory? It could just be the ex-ante, which is crazy too, right? Like,
yeah, that too. That was funny.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good times. Not so good times. Good times. So Dan, How about you? I know you placed.
Yeah. I placed second.
Third?
No, second.
Second?
I didn't get effed on, weird opponents win percentage thing, surprisingly, as per usual. Anyways, again, I've been labbing this OmniZoo, Dark Masters OmniZoo. I really love the deck. I really love how it plays. Low-key, I think I could maybe do something in a regional Ulti Cup with it. Only issue is I don't have a consistent winning at locals with it, so that's what's making me hesitant to actually do it when it comes around. If I can't even get a dub at locals, it's kind of eh. Because certain matchups are just really bad for it, I feel like. And surprisingly, I thought his Hexablow shenanigans was going to be a problem because of the stunning and not being able to suspend. My whole game plan is hard playing a low 5, which costs a 6. Get a whole bunch of searching going, set up for a ace play potentially, or set up for a Dark Masters. That's only 1 or 2 sources they need to strip, and then GG from there. But I guess because the way the deck runs in the sense of, Omnimons can Digivolve over Omnimons, I was like, all right, cool. You stripped, what's it called? The Dark Master, a Piedmon. I had a Zortifi and Piedmon. Oh, okay, cool. Strip the Piedmon. I can't attack. All right, fine. You have 1 stack. I'll go into Mercy mode, pop it. What's your comeback now to that? Or I'll go into, I think at one point I went to OG OmniX, and I was just swinging and attacking, getting rid of stuff. Stuff like that. And then Alter B really, I think, got him one time, I think? Question mark. Oh, yeah, because you had the Magna.
I got rid of that
the Magna, right? Because he had the Magna. I had to Digivolve or something like that, because I would rather do that.
I made sure to get rid of that dumb bitch.
No, I know, but I know I did
with this
the
shit.
Alter B play. I know I did it. The Digivolve at least, yeah. Because I don't want to give him Magnamons at all, because that card is toxic.
I wish you did.
So my gameplay, anytime I saw the Magna, was all right, I'll either Digivolve it, pop it, do something. So a play would be he was swinging with Magnamon. All right, cool. Raise Machinimon. I'll just swing into it, Digivolve it, swing over it, call it a day. Stuff like that. I
should have let it stay alive.
Was it 2-0? I think right. 2-0 against you on that one.
It was a long 2-0, but yes.
Game 2, Apocalypse came down early, and that was the deal breaker for him, because he was trying to do everything in his power to not bounce it, because I had every single Dark Master in trash already. Because my hand was kind of good. It had APOC and then 1 of each Dark Master, and then I drew into the Searcher, and I was set. I was like, all right, I'll just keep using these guys until I'm able to drop the APOC. I didn't even drop it. I actually evoed it over something else, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna slowly kill you. Oh, is that something that's suspended? All right, I'm a bottom deck. Oh, that's unsuspended. I'm killing with Piedmon. I'm doing something to just keep.
That shit was problematic AF.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that card got hit. That card was insane.
I wish it wasn't sometimes. No. I understand.
No. Fuck you.
I love the card. I just love playing Dark Masters. You know what I'm saying? I wish it was around so I could play, regular Dark Masters with it, but
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what. I would have been fine with it at 4 if it didn't mill.
Yeah, I can see that. Honestly, I feel like it should have
because what you were doing with it, I was like, wow, because that's crazy, never right? Nobody does that with it, right?
No.
Because the entire point was just let me just mill you out. But what you were doing with it was oh, cool. Well, if I don't deal with this, at the end of the turn, it's just going to keep absorbing shit and activating on plays. And then if I bounce it, he's just going to play it down again and activate the on play or the when digivolving, whatever it is. It's a when digivolving, isn't it?
No, on play.
It's both?
You activate on play effects.
Activate on play? It's going to activate it anyways.
But if you bounce it, because I was only having 1 or 2 max sources, if you were to bounce it, all right, now I'm playing for 3 that following turn, and then you get the 4th source. Yeah,
exactly. And I'm like, if you take the mill out of that, it's oh, well, you're not going to mill 8. You've just got a big, retail blocker piercing reboot body that activates the on plays of those Digimon, or the Metallic Dramon, the Craniumon, the Magnetramon, whatever. I'm fine with that. That's a perfect, way to cap off Dark Masters OmniZoo as a deck. Or just, even if it was an APOC deck, you just didn't have to do the fucking mill, Bandai. God damn it, why did you build the mill mechanic into it?
Yeah.
I think that's the way you fix that card. You just don't do the mill at all. Just don't. Or if you're gonna mill, 1 for every level 6 in source.
Yeah, that seems more reasonable.
Yeah, it went up like what was the first mill? It goes like 6, 12, 18.
You're going
it's 2 for every 6.
You're gonna play for 3 most times with 3 Dark Masters, and then end of turn effect, you tuck another level 6 or lower, and then you mill for every level 6. So usually the play would be the 8. You get the 8 mill, and then if it stays on turn, next turn you do 10.
You're milling 10, and then you mill 12.
So on. Unless they deal with it.
By the time
I take that
all
back.
the searches, I think by 12 mill you win, right? Because everyone,
basically, because you're thinking about it, right?
Like
I take it back. Right? I think they should have limited it to 1 card milled for every 2 level 6s. That's fine.
Yeah,
because Creepymon is mill 3 for every 10 cards in your trash.
Yeah.
So you gotta bust your ass to set up a trash for Creepymon to mill you out. APOC should have been 1 for every 2 level 6s.
Yeah,
that way, okay, cool. You're gonna mill 2 cards at the end of my turn, and then like probably make a card so that you can accelerate source into it, but it just wouldn't have been as busted.
You could say like 2 for
mill
every
8,
2.
bro.
That's what you're saying constantly. You were saying earlier.
You mean 1 for every level 6? Yeah.
Yeah, but if you have 3, you don't get it. You only get 2 until you hit the 4. That's what I meant by that, though.
Okay, I see what you say.
But
that's fair.
Yeah. So round 1, I played. I forgot what I played round 1 right now. Jessmon.
You played against Martin, so he was probably playing Jessmon. Yep.
Poor Jessmon. And then final round played against Heavy Leo. That's kind of a hard match. That's where I lost. It's kind of hard because Heavy Leo can do crazy things, and if they can deal with the flow 5 because it's only 6k, so like they can go like loader -3, I think it is, and then go into the Heavy Leo and then like bottom deck it or something. If you don't have to ace play, they can do a lot of stuff with it. Game 3, I couldn't see much, but he still just got me anyways, regardless, because like by the time I did, it was probably too late, but he was already set up. It was a hard matchup for sure. That's why I say like I don't know about legitimately bringing it to like the regional OT Cup setting, just because like random matches is kind of tough. So I don't know, like Fenrir.
It's always going to be the random matchups that get you.
It's always going to
fucking get you.
If you go first, you give him the 6. You just watch and be like, all right, I'll sit here for 5 minutes, let you do things. Oh, my turn. Great. Yeah, Fenrir already set up turn 2. You know, it's kind of hard like that matchup. I played it a couple times. It's like oof. Like I had to go second. Have them give me like 2 or 3, so it doesn't feel as bad when you hard play with them, and you just kind of have like the perfect hand setup going, so it's not too bad for it.
Just don't give him that much memory, Dan.
Yeah. Possible. Yeah, do nothing.
I was like, I was gonna say, I think you need to see like a Metallic Dramon and a Craniumon for that matchup, right? Just to like
he'd always
beast you a little bit.
In DM, in like the DM Omnizor version, you don't play those. You play like more. You play heavy aces more. So I think Mega Gargo would be a perfect setup for it. Again, that was like pre me like playing Mega Gargo in the deck. But
if your shit lives.
Yeah, of course, obviously.
The moment I see that black level 5, I'm like, all right, how am I gonna pop this bitch? Because I'm not falling bait to no Mega Gargo play here.
But so I got second place with it. One day, I'll win with it.
One day.
When Vikemon come out.
When Vikemon comes out.
Car's cracked.
So Albert, I know you have it. I know you've been playing One Piece as your main game. Have you played any Digimon recently?
Yeah, actually, I was gonna say like I do play local still. You know, I do take a different week, a different deck each week. So like I said, a couple weeks ago, I took your armor deck, which is really good.
Yeah.
I love that deck right now. Well, I took on Sunday we have locals. I took Shine Gray. And I just didn't see it. My first matchup was against Jessmon. Got 2-0 super quickly. I just couldn't see a line.
Damn, not against Jessmon.
Yeah, I couldn't see my level 6. I just needed the Greymon, the Shine Gray, just going crazy. But I don't know if I won that matchup or not because both times his security when I had the OTK with the 2 Marcuses. He had there's Crimson Blaze, the 2 checks. So yeah. Second game I played against Heavy Leo. This is me and Dan are kind of like on the same page right now. I almost lost that because of that stupid ass option, bro.
That's a hard matchup for Shine.
The one where it's like just, yes, that card is insane, dude. That card is insane.
Yeah, that card is good.
We went game 3.
Night 12, suspend the Digimon, insecurity, did you hit it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I think it's just a night.
Maybe it's just a night 12. I think it's a night 12. Yeah, I think it's the same as main effect. It doesn't say main effect, but played that. Okay. I got lucky game 3. He bricked, and I just see my line. I was like, gas, right? And then game 3, because we had 06 people. Even though we finished with the undefeated at round 2, I like to push the third round anyways, just to get, people paid money to play in the tournament. I always tell the guy, even if you lose, technically you are first place, so I'll give you the first place pricing anyways, because you are technically the undefeated. But we played against War Gray, OTK, and it was just like, all right, who saw their line first? And it was like,
oh yeah,
cool. And then Hades Force is just a card. I lost to that because of Hades Force, literally Hades Force in security, Hades Force in hand. I was like, okay, cool.
Oh damn, that's tough. Good old Hades Force.
Yeah, I just took shine. I actually wanted, like, I'm a scumbag, you know me. I play Satcon. Satcon's one of my main decks. I wanted to test out a Satcon build that me and my homie, you guys might know him, Hector. He top dated at Nats this year. Me and him like to theorize Satcon, and he had an interesting build, and I was like, I'm gonna try that out. But when I tried to make the deck, I was like, half the engine I want to play, I cannot find it. So we're just gonna take good old Shine Gray, take it a run, because Shine Gray is one of my favorite decks, and this is the first time I ever did not top with it at a local. So maybe it's just me not playing that much anymore. The rust is like, okay, but
you win some, you lose some. So where is it? Right here. So our last is actually a pretty good Q&A and poll for you as well. So our last episode was called The Quick and Dirty Beginner's Masterclass, Part 2. In that episode, we talked about deck building and mainly focused on, so we had a previous episode where we talked about, I actually don't remember the exact topics, but there was a part 1. We talked about things to think about, like when playing the game and all that stuff that like a beginner should think about if they're trying to get into comp play. And so part 2 focused on deck building, because as you know, deck building is a pretty big thing and it's definitely a skill. So I asked the audience what deck building advice they had over their time playing card games. Pedro said, play the number that you need when it comes to ratios. Walker says there's no single way to build a deck. Play test a lot and play what you like and are comfortable with. Taking someone else's list is a fine starting point, but you need to learn your interactions, which is fair. I think a lot of people may forget that when they're getting into card games, or even if they're playing and they haven't like touched that competitive side of the game. It's like, you can look at a list, you can take this world's winning list and try to go play it. But if you don't know what these cards are supposed to do, or what these combos do, or what situations you're in with these cards, like there's so much things that go into it, and you should definitely learn how that deck is supposed to play beyond the scope of just like, here's the game plan. Like, for example, a big shout out to Antics, because Antics just got 6th, was it? Or 6th or 8th?
It was like top. It was for top 8 at the.
It was top 8 for sure, with Lugamon playing Protoform. And that's a card I'd always been thinking about if I should play in the deck. And I was like, I just don't want to cut the space, because I had tried previously to morph it into a way that's a little bit more my play style, and I just haven't been able to get it there. And I watched his video. So if you guys want to watch his video, you should definitely go check it out. He talked about like some big decisions that he made. One of them being that he cut Hellugar to 2 because it forces him, which is something, Danny, you remember I used to say this. Fenry is it's a 2-phase deck. Swing Hellugar with an Analog Youth, set up trash, and then go and do your Fenry play. Like, that's generally the way that most Fenry players play the deck, including myself. I tried to play it in other ways and it didn't work for me. when Antix was talking about it, he only plays 2 Hellugar because he doesn't focus on let me set up and then let me get my Fenrir play. Let me get my perfect Fenrir play. He plays it in the way that, like, if he's got to Digivolve into Soul and then go into Fenrir and he only plays out 1 to 2 bodies, then so be it. That's still a Fenrir for his opponent to have to deal with. So he doesn't focus on doing the Hellugar play as often. And I was like, you know what? That's a fair point, especially when combo with Protoform. All right, cool. You blow up my stack, you get rid of my stack. Protoform, I recover that, and I get to take a source back. Maybe it's the rookie I need or whatever other pieces in that stack. I was like, that's just like, I didn't think of that. And that's a really good way to think about playing that deck. And that's something that not a lot of people would think about. So I think that's a really big thing for sure. Burrito says the meaning of number of copies of a card in a deck. The 4 ofs are cards you want to see in the hand, whether it's in starting hand, the middle game, late game. Your 1 ofs are generally situational and you don't mind seeing them late game, but you generally don't want to see them early game. And then I'm going to butcher this name. Mark Limon V3. Play for fun and know that it's just a card game at the end of the day. So all some very good advice. Mm-hmm. Albert, as a competitive player, what some deck building advice you have for our viewers?
I like to go by the numbers. And what I mean by numbers is like, I think we all should, I'm not saying we all, but most of us would agree like your rookie count should be 13, 14 rookies, right? Around there, 12 to 14, more
flexible, right? In today's day and age because of the trainings and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, even with that, I took like 12 to 14, and I'll take that number. Like I'll run odds or even. So if it's an even number, I'll go drop down. I'll drop down to even number. So say I have 12 rookies, right? I'll go 10 champions. From 10 champions, I go to 8 ultimates, and then from the ultimates, I go, okay, I'm gonna do like either 4 or 3 level 6s, and then if I'm playing any level 7s, I'm gonna cut that number in half. Either play 1 or 2. So I do that. I look at my ratios like that, and that's how I deck build. And then I look at what I could play as like. Obviously, I want my training boosts to be 4. Before when it was memory boost, it would also be 4, 3 to 4 for memory boost because it's a hefty cost. Training boost just is better, so I just play 4 of those. And then the tamer lineup, I look at how many tamers I'm gonna play. If not, I look at options. The only reason I would look at options because it's like the only interaction you have in security at the point in the game is like basically it's counter ace, blocking, and security is like the only interaction you have in this game. So I look at what options I could play. But usually that's how I do my numbers. I'll start with the rookies and I'll just keep going like down by 2, or like I said, if it's evens, I'm going 12, 10, 6, 4, or I said that right? 12, yeah, around those numbers. And if it's evens, it's like I'll go like 13, 9, 7, 5, and then 3 or 1. You know, like that's how I look at my monsters, and that's how I do my deck building.
Yeah, definitely some very solid advice. I think like that's the biggest thing to know is like get a starting point. There's nothing that's more important than just being like, because it's even, you can do all the research in the world. You can sit here and you can watch all the videos and you can get all the advice. But at the end of the day, like you still got to put together 50 cards in the deck. What 50 cards are you going to put in the deck? Mm-hmm. If you don't know, get your baseline. Set your baseline out. And then from there, you'll figure everything else out. Play some games. Then you're like, 12 is too little. I'm not seeing them enough. Let me try upping it 13 or 14. Or, damn, 4 was way too much. I'm going to cut that by 1 or 2. Or, damn, this is a card I wish I had more of. Or just, you know, all these sorts of things. I think that's like the biggest thing. Set a baseline for yourself. The baseline is the most important thing. And you're trying to get that competitive mindset. Just think about building the deck first, build it, and then go play it. And then you'll be able to see what those numbers are. One thing Gino said, I don't know if Gino, I think he might have left this on a, what's it called? On a Q&A. But he also said like to remember your ratios, right? And yes. So if you know your baseline is 12, 10, 6, 4, when you do a memory boost and you see War Greymon, Agumon, Tai, you might need Agumon. I'm not saying don't take Agumon. You might need Agumon. But if you've only got, 4 to 5 megas and there's 2 War Greymons sitting there, it's entirely plausible that those are 2 War Greymons you're about to bottom deck. 1 War Greymon can be sitting in security, and then you got 1 more War Greymon to search for. And what's the odds of you pulling into that 1 War Greymon? So it might actually be more beneficial for you to take the War Greymon and put the chance on drawing into your higher ratio card. There's just like a lot of those micro level decisions that get made. But what's most important, and it just all comes back to it. Like, set your baseline for ratios, and whatever you do, just have those numbers in mind. Because then you're like, cool, I know that this card could pop up in security. Did you draw both of your removal options? Well, then you damn sure know they're not in security. Yeah. Did you bottom deck 1 off a memory boost? 1 might be in security. It's just those kinds of things for sure.
Yeah. I also look at go back to the guy that said just take a person's deck list, right? I asked a lot of the top players that. I see top players Dan, Antics, basically with the former the people I was with Luxury and George and Chris and hit up Tyler Sir sometimes. I always look at their list when they top. And I'll either go on DigimonMeta.com and look at the Japan list, and I'll take that list from the list I like that I top for we'll say Dan Bing, right? We'll go with his famous Imperial build, right? Say you want to play Imperial, so he tops with Imperial build. I'm like, okay, I like it. There's some cards I don't want to play. I'll go look at a Digimon meta deck that was posted in Japan. Look at that deck, be like, okay, there's some cards I don't like it. There's some cards I don't like. I'll match those 2 together, and then I'll find the perfect ratio that I like, and I'll find the perfect build to my preference, because I always believe that you should play based off your own preference, because sometimes cards that work for you might not work for them, and sometimes the cards that work for them might not work for you. Yeah, so I try to straight up edit that preference to mine, and I like to play my own play style. The running joke is what is it with security control players? They don't like to they take forever, right? That's the stereotype. Yeah. I don't play I remember I went to one of the in-person regionals in LA. It was in November. My first match, I was playing Secon. It was BT14. First match I had was a Secon mirror. And I kid you not, we finished the match with 10 minutes left of regulation. Because the way I play, and I know the matchup already, it's just how the sequence goes, but yeah, I was trying to win, but also I don't play the deck is so simple. It's either you play recovery, you play option, or you just pass. You don't need to sit there for 20 minutes and be you either play angel, you play a tamer, you play option, or you pass. I don't get how people don't go into time, man. And I don't play, sometimes I don't play for the mill. I'm okay, I'm a swing. The way I play the deck is I'm exhaust you, but while I'm exhausting you, I'm also checking security. So at the point where you have no mons and I could just play free bodies, I'm swing, game. Yeah. Okay, let's go next. Swing, yeah. And so I don't play for the deck out, or I don't play how anyone players.
Right, that's why I say you're trying to win. A lot of Secon players try play not to lose. So they just try to stall it out. They try to not do anything. They try to, have them waste resources, but they're not trying to do anything. They're not trying to advance themselves and actually in a winning state of attacking security and stuff like that. That's what I mean by you're trying to win.
Yeah. No, I think that's the problem with the game too, is because I'll go with what Dan said. I think a lot of players aren't trying to win.
Yep.
Even with decks that my one of the locals guys got frustrated with the Ultimate Cup because he's I don't get how we're in the store format right now, and I question it too. We're in a game state where the decks are faster, better, and with training boost, man boost, we have everything to turbo into these lines. Why is there games that are taking 45, that are taking the whole regulation when you have decks we'll say for instance Giovanni's playing War Grey, right, and I'm playing Shine, right? You think that matchup should go into time?
Absolutely not.
Right?
Someone should get
no. And there's
25-minute match max.
Yeah. There's times where there's I watch people, or I know what the decks are playing when I'm looking at tournament plays. I'm what were your matchups? I'll talk to I was playing this deck, and I'm this deck going to this deck. How'd you go into the overtime? Oh, I was dude, no, there's no excuse. Dude, come on, you need it. You guys are both playing OTK decks, or come on, what are you guys doing there, bro? You can't.
There's some decks.
You can't even use the excuse that I bricked. Yeah.
I was gonna say this.
Go ahead.
there's some people in our like Discords or whatever that we have there, and we're like, hey, how's you doing your tournament runs? And like we know what deck they're playing, and I'm just questioning them. I'm just like, well, how are you playing Red Hybrid and you're going into time and overtime? Dude, how are you having a draw with Red Hybrid? I don't care.
Yeah, Red Hybrid, if you're please.
If you're playing with Red Hybrid or against Red Hybrid, you should never go past like 50 minutes because you should be either losing fast or winning fast. It doesn't matter what deck you're playing against. It just makes no sense to me how like that happens in today's game.
Speaking of Red Hybrid, that same tournament, right? Round 2 that I played the Secom here, I played Red Hybrid in round 2, and that was the first time I ever went into time with Setcon. I'm like, dude, you just have to find the Alda and the Burning and the Emperor Grade, bro. Bro. Like I can't, I can't, man.
And it's so funny. Dan says like that you were playing to win because it rung into my mind what he said at locals. Part of the comments that were made during that round 1, they came over, they were like, damn, y'all are still playing? And I was like, yeah, man, I'm trying to win. And the other guy goes, yeah, I'm trying not to lose.
Yeah, exactly. Y'all was dying because you like screamed that out loud too.
I fucking lost it. I was like, just fucking die, you fucking cockroach. I'm trying to squash you and you're just like, I'm trying not to lose. I almost let the word pop out. Motherfucker, you lost 3 turns ago.
Yo, it's some wild shit sometimes.
Yeah, no, I think that's a problem. A lot of people, like Dan said, aren't trying to win. They're trying not to lose. And that's the problem right now in the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So our poll results, I asked, what's your biggest struggle when it comes to deck building? So it's fitting that most people talked about ratios and we talked about ratios because 5 people said ratios are their biggest issues. So I hope you guys got some good ideas about ratios. And always feel free to pop in a Discord and message if you need help or advice on deck building because there are plenty of people to be around to give you advice. 2 people said tech choices. Now, here's the thing about tech choices, right? When you consider, is this card a tech? What does this card help you with? In what matchup? How bad is that matchup? And how does that card help you outside of that matchup, right? For me, playing armors, Digimon Emperor is my tech. It's a 1 of. I would like to play it at 2, I just don't have room. So it's a 1 of. What does it help me with? The entire meta, because Ukomon and start of main phase and all of those rookies, right? So it's the perfect tech card that I have space for that plays into my strategy. What matchup is it dead in? Devas. The only thing it like helps with in Devas is draw power. If somehow I'm deleting a level 5, like with what's it called? Heaven's Judgment. Outside of that, it's a dead card. So realistically, I consider it a dead card in Devas. I hate seeing it. Every time I play Devas, I'm like, fuck you, you're not the draw I needed right now. So it's Devas, I'm basically playing a 49 card deck because that's the one card that doesn't matter. It's the one card that doesn't advance my game state at all. But in every other matchup, card is great. Or I would say almost every other matchup. There's probably, 1 or 2 off matchups where it doesn't help. But most other matchups, it's like, nice. What's another card? At one point, I guess Awakening of the Golden Knight, that's a tech card. It's a 1 of. Yeah. It's a great card. It's helpful in your Devas matchup and your vaccine matchup because you can't be DP reduced. But then how does it help you outside of those matchups, right? It's like, instead of digivolving for 4 into Magnamon, I digivolve for 3. And sometimes that matters. That either helps you keep a turn, or that gives them 1 less memory to work with, or it helps you choke them. Or in my case, what I like to use it for is I use it to go for game. Cool. I'll just digivolve into another Magnamon, specifically BT8, get the unsuspend, swing again. So, tech cards. You gotta ask yourself those 4 questions. Why? What matchup? Where is it dead at? And how does it help you? Consistency, one person said. Consistency is really, it kind of folds back into ratio in a way. But there's also the consistency of shuffling, the consistency of the what we talked about with seeing what cards when you need to see them. sometimes that early game decision of, well, do I take Agumon or Wargrey, impacts you in the mid game when you can't find the Wargrey or you can't find the Agumon on you. But that's more of just like, that's RNG. If you have 12 rookies, you can't see the rookie. Sometimes it's just RNG. There's nothing you can do about that.
If you weren't going to see it, you weren't security.
In my case, when 3 are in security and 4 are stacked at the bottom of the deck, yes. Yeah. So sometimes you just can't help it. Sometimes it is what it is. And just remember, guys, like at the end of the day, RNG is a thing. We're still playing a card game. Everything is randomized, or it should be if you're not a cheater, which I hope you aren't, because if you're a cheater, I'll find you. Don't want to be found.
Doing the most over here.
One Piece cheaters. I'm looking at them.
That's crazy. We go one step into that later.
Well, we'll step into that later. Looking at the motherfucking One Piece cheaters out here, because them motherfuckers be wildin', bro. I'm not even gonna talk about it right now. And then the last thing is synergy. So when I mentioned synergy, I mentioned it as a way of like, it also kind of brings in consistency. It's what does your deck do? And how do all the cards play in the bigger picture? Because if you're going to play, in my case, actually, it's a perfect example, because I know Dan loves to harp on this one, and I do too.
Oh, I can't wait.
Why would I play Magna Angemon in Magna Armors?
Oh my God.
And yeah, yep. Up here, it was like, yeah, this is great. How does it help? I get up to -6. I get to recover 1. Like, it's still combos with Magna X. Like, I could still do some stuff. But like, what is like really the synergy? And if I had really thought about the synergy, I would have looked at starter deck Magnamon. See that card strips 1 to 2 sources. Looked at Zudo Ace. See that card strips 2 sources. And be like, oh, maybe I should just play more Zudo Ace. Because
that card is
I
so
can just
insane.
keep stripping and bouncing. So that was one place where synergy didn't line up for me. But in better cases is when you see, I don't know, some random ass deck, let's just call out like D-Boys, and then they're playing like, I don't know, give me some random ass black card like a fucking Espimon, or like even a Hover Espimon. It's like, why are you playing Hover Espimon? Well, it's a good card. Yeah, sure. Hover Espimon is a good card. But why are you playing it in D-Boys? Well, because I can do so and so. Yeah, but what about your High Commandramon and your Numamon? Or even your Sealstramon? Yeah, but no, there is no yeah, but. Like, it doesn't play into your synergy. It's not searchable. Doesn't help you advance your game state, really. Unless it's like for Levia? But then how is that a tech card?
Reminds me back when the blue players used to play like the red tamer for the ADP, and you're like, dude, like, and they would complain about it because they're like,
that's perfect.
It's like this is bricks. They're like, dude, yeah, like you're playing 2 cards that don't go. Yeah, like you're playing 2 cards, like for 2 cards against a Secon matchup that you're probably not going to see because Secon is, not good this format, right? Or
what's the likelihood that you see Secon?
Yeah.
Oh well, I played the entire day and I didn't see Secon. So did you need that tech card?
Exactly.
No, I didn't think so.
But there's also like weird synergy, like for example, right now it's running around Purple Machinegimon. It's cool on paper to me, but the problem is when you're running purple rookies and then a white rookie and Ukomon, and you go, oh crap, I open my hand with options and no rookie, or if you even have a rookie, it doesn't matter. But hey, I can't play Supreme Connection because that's what I desperately need to play. And you're stuck in this weird situation because you have no tamers either. You get a weird situation like that. That's why, like, sometimes you can't always go with what you think is cool. It might work. You might sometimes need to stick with like what's true and tried. Like, having black base for everything, and you have that consistency to be able to play your Supreme Connections in turn 0, or black and training boost you're playing. Because sometimes you're just not going to see that tamer that you need to play your options for. Or you're stuck just now, you're hard playing a level 7 and you not level 7, a level 5, and you're like, well, here's 7 memory, have fun, and blow up my board, because that's what they're going to do most likely. Or even like, I know it's still good, but like for me personally, like that's why I don't like Purple Numamon. I love the ability, if I really need to, Digivolve in the back, because you can you could get in a situation where we saw in Varnick's stream when he was playing Magnemon versus Numemon. Shout out to Dan Vang. He's playing purple Numemon, and Varnick goes, all right, Digimon Emperor. Now his raising and breeding phase is kind of donezo, right? Because you can't do anything about that. You're stuck with an Ukomon in the back, most likely. You might be able to keep turns sometimes, but you don't get the full advantage of it. And he lost because he raised a Goblimon, and Digimon Emperor procs before the Goblimon starter main effect happens. So that became null and void, and you're just stuck in a situation. If you're playing black base, on the other hand, obviously he won a regional, so like me saying that's kind of irrelevant, but like it pops up sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But like if you're playing black base, hey, you really need to evo with a Numemon, and you got Numemon chill in the back. Now you don't feel as bad about it. Stuff like that.
Yeah, half of the game is RNG, and that's what it boils down to. Dan Vang won with purple base, and then tried to run it back with purple base, and wasn't able to take it the second time. We saw it. It was just a lot of inconsistency of being able to see what he needed to see when he needed to see it, and also just the fact that I was being annoying AF and just kept fucking bouncing everything back to hand. Because I'll be damned if I let a fucking little Monzemon pop out. I let a Monzemon pop out, and that's the death of me. I know that. So anytime I see a slime come down, put your slime back to hand. But to Dan's point, yeah, you don't have that flexibility of digivolving and raising. You're like, all right, cool, you're bouncing my shit. I'm just going to digivolve and raising in my little cushion. When I'm ready to come out, then I got you. But you don't have that flexibility. You got to just keep hard playing shit and hope it don't get bounced, right? And so like that's like the trade-off, and that falls into synergy and also consistency. It's just, what do you consider? You know, would Dan Vang go home and be like, damn, how the fuck do I beat Magnemon? How do I tech out my deck to beat Magnemon? Probably not. He'll think about it. Be like, how do I play better in that matchup? Is there anything differently I can do? But in terms of cards, no. I mean, that would require him to swap out the entire bottom end of it. But it's shown success. And are you going to change out the entire bottom end because you lost to Magnemon? Or are you just going to fucking say, all right, cool, let's try again? It's like,
absolutely not.
Does every player build their deck to play against Secon? Absolutely not.
As you shouldn't.
Do I build Fenrir to play against Secon? Yes.
Yeah, it's like you said. It's like perfect way to use Dan. You know, like go home. He's not gonna go and be like, I'm gonna take these cards out and put these cards in. It's more like, I'm gonna go home, think about what I did against the matchup, think about what I should have done and should have done, and then learn from there. If that doesn't help, then the matchup's doomed. If not, we can fix it from there.
Mirage. That is literally Mirage for Magnemon. People are like, oh, how do you beat Mirage? You fucking pray. You put your hands together and you say, please don't see anything before I kill you.
That's the same thing with Numemon against
you beat Mirage.
That's the same thing with Numemon against Daybus.
Yeah, that matchup's so doomed.
If you don't play like Heaven's Judgment in that matchup for Fanglon, that moment that Fanglon drops against you as a Numemon player, it's just GG basically. Win faster, buddy.
Yeah, because they only gotta tuck one card.
It's so terrible. I had that happen to me in my regional with Numemon. Oh my god, that was awful.
Yeah, so that's some deck building advice. Hope that was helpful for you guys. It'll be the last little bit we talk about that on the channel for quite a while. We're going to now get to know who Albert is. You know, like this guy just like popped on pod with us. Like, who is this guy with the Yankees hat?
Best team, and it's crazy because I'm from Cali, which is crazy. So don't make fun of me for that.
I mean, who likes Cali teams out here? Dan is the only Lakers fan on podcast, right?
No, Laker Nation right here. Come on, come on, man.
Hey,
come on. I'm very born and grown Lake Shove. Come on, man, let's go. Same. They need to do something about those coaches, but we'll be back next year.
Get rid of LeBron.
Well, they did.
Hey. Yeah.
All right, so Albert, take it away. Tell us about yourself. Biggest things, you know. How'd you get into card games? How'd you get into playing them competitively? And then how'd you get into Digimon?
Okay, so I got into card games just because, we'll say Yu-Gi-Oh! The Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime show, cartoon, whatever you want to call it. That was my favorite show as a kid. You know, everyone, I think we could all, or most of us, say we all wanted to be the king of games. We all always wanted to be the spiky haired kid with the Millennium Puzzle on her neck, which I was for Halloween. If I could find that picture, I would, because my friend did a video talking about. I'll send it to you guys later. It's about kind of what you're asking me now, like how we got into card games and how like TCGs helped us out. And he did a little cool video. I like it a lot. But I couldn't find that picture for him. My mom couldn't find it fast enough. But yeah, I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh as a kid. You know, took Blue Eyes to school every day, played it. You know, made a Kaiba beatdown deck with XYZ Dragon, Cannon Head, whatever you want to call it. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, that's classic.
My elementary friends, childhood friends, we would go to a classroom or even play outside in the grass and play Yu-Gi-Oh. Up until middle school, you know, I did stop. Made some bad choices, but what got me back to being who I was and like my little nerdy self and put me on the right track was, again, Yu-Gi-Oh. Went back to those friends, started playing Yu-Gi-Oh again. I didn't get into competitive Yu-Gi-Oh until like probably 2012, 2013, when those friends from elementary, middle school, and high school hit me up like, you still play Yu-Gi-Oh again? I was like, yeah. We're gonna host a tournament. You down? I was like, dude, I'm down. Like, I remember I was one of the top dogs back in elementary to high school, so like, I'm down. We'll see if I still have it. And from there, it took off. I didn't stop playing Yu-Gi-Oh until I didn't stop playing Yu-Gi-Oh until COVID happened, which was the birth of Digimon. And I'm gonna be that person to say it, but I think Digimon is better than Pokemon, because that was my show as a kid too. I was a big Yu-Gi-Oh and Digimon fan. I used to have all the toys. I had the old card games. I have the movie still on VHS and DVD. You know, I had everything Digimon. I watched the movie so many times as a kid. That was my favorite movie. It still is one of my favorite movies. And yeah, so I love that it had a card game. I was iffy about the card game until my homie Jerry, he bought the Japanese ones, like the Japanese starter decks, and he basically just printed out the English versions or had them, like, he knew what they did, so he would tell us about it. And I remember one time, I think it was for like, I don't know if it was like his baby shower or something. I forgot what it was. He invited us over, like the close friends, and he's like, hey, try Digimon with me. Tried it. I liked it. I was so iffy about it. And then he's like, I got you guys all your own little Japanese starter decks if you guys want to try it out. So, I tried it out and I started liking it more. And I was like, this is a fun game. And, at the time, Yu-Gi-Oh, everyone loves the let me set up 5 Omni negates and hand traps pass. Yep. What are you going to do?
Yep.
Yeah.
And what really got me was that I was a Salaman Great player, and then once the ban list came out, they kind of butchered it, and then it got power crept. So I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna try Digimon, and then I fell in love with Digimon from there. I still love Digimon. I know I said I'm a One Piece player, but it doesn't hit. I'm a competitive player, so I'm gonna chase the big scene every time. I'm a competitive player, so I'm gonna chase the big scene all the time. I do play some competitive Digimon still, but as of right now, I'm on the main line. I'm on the ship with Luffy trying to find the One Piece man. I didn't even watch One Piece, which is crazy. That's like, everyone's like,
oh, that's
yeah.
But don't tell the One Piece players that, because they'll like have a fit. They'll be like, you're a fake One Piece fan.
Don't hunt me down. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny that you say like you think Digimon's better than Pokemon, but you're also a Yu-Gi-Oh player. I would like to say that like most people are either Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh and Digimon. I feel like that's how it goes. I feel like when you're a Pokemon only, and not everybody's like this. Like, I'm not saying everybody's like this. I like Pokemon, but I feel like the younger, it was like, well, either you watched Pokemon or you watched Yu-Gi-Oh and Digimon and everything else. Yep. So it's like funny. I feel like a lot of players nowadays are like kind of like the same way. It's like, oh, you like Digimon? Oh, I never really cared for Pokemon, or I never watched Pokemon, or just something along the lines of like, Pokemon wasn't my jam, Digimon was, and then also like Yu-Gi-Oh or insert other anime or card game here type thing.
I think it was also more of Pokemon stayed the same no matter what every season. Literally, it was like, Ash goes through, a region. He gets pretty good, and then for whatever god-awful reason, they reset him to like a basic-ass trainer, and he does it all over again. And for, I don't know, but like, I feel like some people, especially like the ones that are Yu-Gi-Oh! Digimon fans, they were like, what the F is this? when you have Digimon, where you saw the growth of like Tai. You go from 01 to 02, you immediately see growth in Tai of who he is as a person. You see the growth in how he treats his teammates and his Digimon and other Digimon and stuff, right? And then you see, the growth of everybody else. And then you go into the third season, you get a whole different, darker theme, a more adult theme, and tamers with, Guilmon, Runamon, Terriermon, and those people who probably watch Yu-Gi-Oh!, who's a dark-ass demon, if you really think about it. You're sending kids to the Shadow Realm and they're never ever coming back. You know what I'm saying? Like they're probably like more into that when like instead of Pokemon where it's like it feels like it stayed as a kid, it felt like it was more kiddish. It didn't grow with the times with those type of people that like those animes or whatever. So I think that was part of it as well for that.
I think my thing was like my favorite game was Pokemon growing up because it was just a handheld. It was so fun playing it. Card game was Yu-Gi-Oh! And then show was Digimon. Actually, show was Blade, but
let it rip, baby.
Episodes used to come back on like something but YouTube.
I love playing OG Pokemon games, but like when your game and your show is literally the repetitive same shit every season.
Every generation,
It's to the point where it's like, all right, like why am I still playing? I'm doing the same exact thing no matter what. I'm versing a bad team that's going to try and take over the world. We're using legendaries, and I'm trying to get 8 badges to go to the Elite Four to go beat Lance twice or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like it's legit. It's rinse and repeat. But it works for Pokemon, and those people who are diehard Pokemon fans, they love it. They ate that up. For me, like personally, I stopped at Diamond and Pearl, and then I was like, all right, that's it. I don't really care about anything else after that.
That's where I stopped at.
And I think I scooped up Soul Silver because I was like, oh, Silver, goated, right? And then I didn't play anything else until the Switch games came out. And when I played the first one, I think the Sword and Shield.
Sword and Shield.
Right? Sword and Shield, yeah, Sword and Shield. Sorry.
I was like, this is straight garbage. Why are we still playing this? Like, what is the point of this game? Like, you know what I'm saying? And then like, it didn't change with Violet and the other one either. So I was just like, this is such a...
I was hyped for Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee because I was like, it's the old games, it's high def. That was the most easiest thing ever, bro. I was like, no. But
I looked at people play it, I was like, I'm not even touching this.
I played it too. I was just like, why is this so like dumbed down easy? Like, come on, give me a fight or something. Like, Jesus.
All right, so tinfoil hat. I'm not going to derail too much, but tinfoil hat. Here's my theory about Game Freak, Nintendo, Pokemon Company, and Pokemon. The reason every person that talks about, I used to play Pokemon, but I stopped playing Brown, Diamond, and Pearl, is because Diamond and Pearl were not only was Generation 4 like probably like one of the greatest generations because Platinum was so fucking good. It was also the last generation where we were like teenagers. Most of us, because I'm 27, Dan is like 30 some. So 30? When Diamond and Pearl came out, I said 30 some. I didn't want to say 30 or 31. You're 30. So, all right, he's 31. I was maybe 13, 14. Like I was either right in 8th grade or right in high school. And so everybody else also was like either right getting into high school, in high school, or graduated high school. So then they captured a next generation of kids with X and Y. But like those people who continued playing weren't the people like us. But like, again, like they capture because of like their anime. If only Bandai would do this with Digimon. They constantly had the anime on, so it's not like there was ever a lack of Pokemon content. So you're just constantly getting new kids into the game. But like for people like us, we were just like, well, yeah, we grew up, we played all of those, and now we're not gonna play the same repetitive shit. So we're done with it. We wiped our hands, and that's why we don't play it anymore. Because it's just like Dan said, it's repetitive. There's nothing different about it. And Diamond and Pearl was the last great one to come out.
Yeah,
tinfoil hat there. That's what I think.
I agree.
So, moving on to main topic. What Albert's on here to talk about today. As a competitive player in the One Piece community, you don't even have to be a competitive player in the One Piece community to know what the fuck the competitive scene is like in the Digimon community. It's like, I don't know, it's tough. It's tough out here. liking Digimon, but also wanting to be a competitive player. Gen Con events were just unveiled, and there is one regional, there is one Ultimate Cup, there's like one or two 3v3s, and that's it. That's all we got.
It's what's crazy is the 3v3 is during, I think, either the regional or the Ultimate Cup.
It's during, it's during both of the main events. So it's like, okay. Well, surely like there's other stuff I can do, right? You can play Fusion World if you want. Or, you know, in terms of like our tournaments, we get like one IRL a month, which is like better than none. But like one IRL a month when it's like in California, and then it's out in Illinois, and then it's down in North Carolina, and then it's over in God knows where, probably Texas next. It's like, huh?
Or up north in Canada for some reason.
Yeah. So, and I know, just looking at the One Piece scene, One Piece like they don't have it made in gold, but like they're definitely far better off in terms of their competitive scene than we are. But that's also because they're like probably, I'd say, 4 times the size, 4 to 5 times the size, and that's just for people who can get in, not the ones who want to get in.
Yeah, no, it's like I was talking to a couple of friends about it, online Digimon friends, even local friends, and just people like I play test with like Digimon or even like One Piece with. If I find it weird that both are in the Bandai company, right? Bandai is obviously dropping so many games, so the interest of one game is going to get divided into all these other games, which we see happening. You know, One Piece players Digimon players drifted to One Piece. We now have One Piece and Digimon players drifting to Fusion World, and then God knows what's going to happen to Union Arena, and God knows we saw what happened with BSS, you know, which is crazy because they had cash pricing and that's what people wanted. But I think what it comes down to is the one big reason why One Piece is probably doing so much better than all the other card games right now is because of IP. Obviously, One Piece IP is really huge compared to Digimon, right? Like people know more about One Piece than Digimon. But also, I just feel like the tournament pricing for Digimon versus One Piece there's a huge gap. And when I mean a huge gap, I'm glad we have the serialized Ami now, right? Because One Piece started off with the serialized cards, right? I think it was Luffy. Yeah, Luffy was the first one. The problem with the Ami card, and I've seen people talk about this, is that it's not selling, which is the problem. They're not selling. It's not selling for the price because people want to do good in tournaments, sell the pricing. It's not selling for the price that people want it to, and people don't want to drop it because they think it should be at that price. But also outside of the Ami, what other pricing do you get? Right? Let's go back to last year and the years before. Remember first year Digimon. You top 32, you got the... Hold on, let me go grab it real quick. Hold on, be right back.
During a small intermission break.
What happened?
No, I was joking. I was like, during our intermission break.
We get this cool deck box. Remember from top 32? Ooh. Little championship deck box? 2001.
Yeah, right? That was all the way back, yep.
This was... I love getting these because this is really cool. You know, it has this little stamp that says Championship 2021. It has, Virus Metal Gray. You know, this was his incentive to play for, right? People wanted this. People wanted this Xbox a lot because it was exclusive. We go now from that to actually, where is it? Well, the playmats were given out too, right? No, there's no playmats. We go into the next season, right? Used to be, right? We go from this to, I know some people might like it, some people might get mad, to these shitty ass memory markers that are like huge for some reason, right?
Yeah.
And actually, no. We went for that. And then we also downgraded to the Jesfont box, which is just a paper box. That was participation, right? A lot of the pricing got cut down. I remember I think we got the first season before. I go by season. So like season 1, which is like the beginning of Digimon, which is like set 1 to like set, I think EX1 was the first Nats, right? Yeah.
Something like
pricing
that.
was goated. Next season, which was EX1 to EX2, so a whole year later, horrible. who wanted those? Who wanted the ancient hybrids printed on a stamp cards, and it was even the good ones, right? It was Phoenix. It was Sphinx. It was. I mean, the Kabateri was good. Yeah. Well, I mean, the green one was good, right? Like, the green one was the only good one.
You didn't even get you wouldn't even get Ancient Guru and Ancient Greymon. You got like all the other ones.
Yeah, I was like the trash ones.
Yeah.
Like I said, the beetle was good because it was like it actually had play in the meta. Yeah, semi-relevant. But we went to a trash pricing, which I know a lot of people got disappointed about that. Like, dude, like, this is kind of like unsatisfying. Then we go into the season, which is last year, and that's when we got the memory markers. And to me, I'm like, those, like, that doesn't help. Like, it's a cool collectible, but like at a point where you're a player who's consistently topping, and getting these memory markers, and you're spending so much time and money building these decks and playtesting. Like, how where does your investment come back? And the way I see it, like now, like a lot of people went to One Piece because they want to chase the money. Right now, like it went down a little bit, but beginning of this format for One Piece, the beginning of the regional tournaments, if you top eight, we base all the prices there. If we were to sell, people do buy. I witnessed it in person and transactions. If you top 8 it, you're able to make from 12 to 20K in money.
Woo.
In a top 8, and that's because I'll take. We'll go back. Let's lower the bar a little bit, right? Let's go to, like, we'll say top 64. I think top 64 is a kid. You get a kid, not like an actual kid, but like the 7-cost kid, right?
Yeah.
At the time he came out, that thing was 1,200. Now it's sitting at 600-800 still. That's a top 64 prize card. What do you get for top 64 in Digimon? You get an extra pack.
Yeah, right? I think it's an extra pack. Yeah, an extra pack.
Okay, and that's why I think, I was telling my friends, also who are my roommates, I was telling them, I think Digimon could get the action to get back, right? Get the flow back if they did what One Piece did and printed price cards for each of that level. You get, obviously, it's like the treasure cups all over again, right? Or the treasure, sorry, that's One Piece. Ultimate Cup, sorry.
Well, still both the regional might as well be a treasure cup.
I used to say,
with what that prize out is like, I
was gonna say last year's tournaments when we had the regionals / OT Cups, the regional pricing was so trash. I was like, there's no point in playing regionals. But at least OT Cups, you get stuff, and you could actually make a little money off of that compared to the regionals. Regionals only your top 16 invite. The moment you did one, that was it, because especially the first 2 sets of regional pricing was so garbage. Like, why nobody wants that Geo Greymon from BT3? Like, come on, like, Bandai, nobody wants that shit. And then, like, the Greymon garbage, the XVmon garbage. Like, no one wanted those cards, and it was just like a shame how poor, like, the regional pricing was at that time.
Yeah, but I think because for One Piece they have the treasure cup and the regionals, right? I'm pretty sure the treasure cup, the treasure cup has a different prize lineup, like stack like that, and the regionals have a different price. So it's different characters, right? And I think that's what Digimon needs to do. Like, I love the way they're doing, like, the pro tag lineup, but now in the regionals, do a different lineup. Do, like what Dan said, like, no one wants those XVs and stuff like that, right? And I think that's what's hurting them too, is they're printing out cards in different rarities, and like rarities that we want at a regional level, but cards that don't do anything like this. Now, I always comment and reply on, like, when Lance posts, like, on, like, the Digimon page, the main Facebook page, or even when, like, the group posts it, whatever. Like, I always say, like, they need to stop printing these useless ass cards. Like, I think the last tournament pack we had just at a local stance, the only good card that came out of that was what? Gatomon? And Gatomon doesn't even see play anymore because Mastamon
doesn't get played.
Yellow Purple.
Until Mastamon gets played, it'll be relevant, but like, still, like...
Yeah, but outside of that, there's no good cards. So, like, even at a local level, like, their participation is, like...
Yeah.
It's so crazy to me, like... Yeah, because even in, like, we'll go, like, back, I'm not trying to, like, ride or praise, like, One Piece, because I like both games, but, like, you go to One Piece, right? You win a local, just off the winner pack, the card is like worth $20 to $30. You go to Digimon and get the winner pack, the card's worth cents. It's like because it's a card that doesn't get played. Like it's a card that's
even the cards that get played, like there are some great cards in the recent, like I want to say 2 tournament packs. It's still like a 20-cent card. Like that's insane.
Yeah.
I think they just need to like Bandai just needs to look at their team that's making the regional pricing and tell them like we need to get these players more, because there's players like us, or I'm gonna say most of you guys because you guys played this game more than me, like Dan Bing, everyone that's stuck around since set 1 still playing this game, and they're devoted to keep this game going, right? Because well, I mean, I'm pretty sure we all saw the sales that in Japan it's like the bottom 3 sales list of the card games. Like it's the cards aren't selling out there in Japan, but it's like you got to give these players that say devoted to you guys and they're trying to keep this game going and giving you high praise to like give it back to us. Like we love the Ami, right? The Ami is cool, but at a top, like giving out the top 8, like give it out to at least top 16, or just make, like I said, make other prize cards. Like what's a good card right now? We'll say what's a good expensive card right now?
I actually got the perfect example for you. Our set 2 regional prize cards. You want to know what we get in that set 2? We get a reprint of Fenry Lugamon.
Oh yeah,
fantastic! It's a new art, right? Mm-hmm. It's a new art, right? It's not just a reprint of the basic SR art, right?
That's what I mean. There we go. We need a different arts of it. It's like those are cool. Like I have it somewhere right here. The participation from right now, when there's like the cargo and stuff like that. Like those arts are cool. I like the color schemes, but put a different art onto it. Like make it look cool. Give it a gold border. Give it something like. I
just want to say, I looked up the pricing for the Treasure Cup, which is. Holy shit, are we missing out? Dan, do you want to know what you get for winning a One Piece Treasure Cup? It's like an ultimate cup.
Go ahead.
So, of course, you get all the cards like that you're supposed to get along the line. You get the event packs. First place, they get a playmat. That's something more than we get in the Ultimate Cup, because we don't even get a playmat. We only get the cards. So they get a Treasure Cup playmat. They get an extra event pack. They get a Dawn card, because that's a big thing for One Piece players. For us, we could have gotten DigiX sleeves, which we do, but that's only for regionals. They get a 4 Emperors packet. Like they get like a set of sleeves for their Dawn deck as well. But the biggest thing that they get outside of actually getting like the playable alternate art cards, they get an uncut sheet of OP06.
Top 16,
a whole fucking uncut sheet. Like that's some real nerd shit that I would totally have on my fucking wall right now if I was able to get one. Like that's simple too. Like it's not even like, oh well, like that's gonna cost us like so much more money. No, it's not. Roll that shit up from production and stick that shit in a tube and then ship it out to me so that I can hang it up on my wall when I win an Ultimate Cup. Like, that alone is insane that they actually get a whole uncut sheet. But then you look at the fucking regional pricing and you're like, yeah, wow. They too have a whole set of, what's it called? Like our equivalents of finalist packs or participation packs, whatever. They get like a whole card set. But then, like, yeah, every tier has a fucking alternate art card of a card that's like actually viable.
What's crazy
like,
too?
Come on.
Not only is One Piece doing that, but if you go and look at the Dragon Ball, the new game that hasn't even came out yet, they have the same lineup for them as One Piece. So now you have this new card game that's coming in, right? Which is Dragon Ball. They're not gonna have the first tournament until Set 2 comes out, which is I think around which is this month, and their first line of tournaments is June and July. They have two to three alternate arts coming out. They have a winner card, and then they have a playmat. They have participation. They have finalists. They have all this. Like it's just, I don't know. The people on the Digimon team is like they don't see this, and they see us. They obviously is like I'm pretty sure they see Lance all the time say, "We want better pricing. We want better pricing." But come on, like you guys saw how we reacted at Nats in the showcase, and I'm pretty sure the reps came up to us and asked us, "What would you like better?" And we said pricing. And it's cool they're doing all this texture, like texture, like the Double Typhoon events. That's cool. It's just I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there on the Digimon side. Like I'm pretty sure we all noticed once we saw the value of pricing going down. That's when we saw a lot of players leave to go back to like the original games like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, join new games like One Piece, Battle Spirits. Like once they saw the value go down, this is when people started leaving.
So I just looked up the Dragon Ball pricing. Their top 16 gets a serialized Goku.
Yeah, and that Goku sold for it's rumored it sold for like 1 million in Japan when it came out in Japan. And I feel like I think Dragon Ball will do good because it's Goku. That's all I'm saying. It's
for
just
sure.
Goku. Yeah.
I know Fusion World is not going to have as many players because even Super never had as many players as either Digimon or One Piece. I get wanting to push a new game. I think it's so we had an interview last week with East, and I think one of the biggest things is that Bandai really underestimates Digimon as an IP, not even just as the card game. They underestimate it as an IP. You know, we had Digimon Con a whole 2 months ago, I think, and they dicked us around. They made it this big thing. They were like, "Oh, Digimon Con, a celebration of Digimon. Here's all these panels," and you were all hype, and you sat there and you watched it the whole night, and you're like, "But I didn't learn anything new." Oh no, that's a lie. We got the new color, the pendulum Digivice. That's it. That's all we got. And it's like, Bandai, like, did you see how many people were like watching your stream? Did you look at the attendance of the Digimon card game at the same nationals that had 2,000 plus One Piece players? You had almost 1,000, if not like right over 1,000 Digimon players. Like, sure, it's not the 2,500 of One Piece players that it might have been. It's more than the 50-some, 100-some Battle Spirits players.
It's not even
there.
Yeah, it's not even just the card game itself for Digimon. It's the like you said, the IP itself. The Digimon games, Cyber Sleuth sold over like 1 million copies. Like, why would you not be like, oh, let's capitalize on this? We did a pretty good sales on this game that we thought was gonna be trash sales because they thought it was gonna be like not even like 200K or something like that, and then blew up the water. So they got us, you know, Hacker's Memory, whatever it's called, the second version, which is basically it was a good game still, but like it was just copy and paste ish the game. I still loved it and played it, but that's neither here nor there. But like for anybody else, they would have noticed that for sure. And that also did well. And then you drop Next Order, a game that did really well as well for sales for, you know, a low IP. And then it takes forever for what's it called, Survive. And it sold alright for what it was, I guess. I think they sold like 250K or something like that for it. I don't remember the numbers for that at the moment. But like people want games for it too. It's not just Digimon, like, you know, poor pricing for that. People want games. We've been waiting for God knows how long for the next story game that they announced like 10 years ago at this point. You know what I'm saying? So like it's been so long for them. They take forever for this. It's like this, like Pokemon shows out games like there's nothing. Then you got Digimon that takes like 10 years and it's great. It'd be great too. Like people like love playing it, and you know, especially like the hardcore Digimon fans, they enjoy most of their games. Why not?
And it's not even games.
Yeah,
it's the shows too.
Anime. Where we at with animes? You know what I'm saying? Like you did. It's
like
Digimon
we all had a
02
day.
Movie.
Yeah, we had a day to watch that movie, right? It was only came out one day, and it's like, okay, cool. Like
2 days, I think it was technically.
Yeah.
So for us, I think it was like November 25th and 26th, I think it was. Mm-hmm. Which again, most people are gonna go for the 1 day, anyways. So you know, you had the 02 movie that drops last year. Where's the capitalization on continuing the story of it? Where's like anything else? you leave the ending of Try on a weird cliffhangers, unanswered questions and stuff that you could have expanded more if you really wanted to as an anime. You have Ghost Game that ended abruptly. It felt like the ending wasn't like, you know, a good ending from what I heard. I didn't finish all the Ghost Game. You do the reboot for 2020, which is cool. Why not capitalize on a reboot of 02 or something? Like, I just don't understand where, like, why is there such a divide when it comes to like the love of Digimon, and then Bandai up top is like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it feels like. Like they just don't like F with Digimon, it feels like sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know any of the relationship because like I know it's both like a Bandai and a Toei thing. Toei controls the animation side of Digimon, and Bandai has like, I guess, like the physical merchandising and all that stuff rights to it. But it's just like, damn, bro, like never seen a company like flounder away such an asset. Like, you know, who owns does Toei own Dragon Ball?
Yes. Toei
Animation. Like the animation rights of that as well. Yeah. And they milk the fuck out of Dragon Ball. As a matter of fact, Bandai milks the fuck out of it too. And granted, I mean, yeah, Dragon Ball is Dragon Ball. We were getting shitty Dragon Ball games for years before, you know, we've gotten to the point where we're getting Sparking Zero. And even like Zero, before
Hyper.
Yeah, which looks good. But then even like before Fighters came out. And it's like, you can milk the living shit out of Dragon Ball. You can even give them shitty games, and they're still appreciative of getting shit games. You know what I would give for a shitty Digimon game?
At this point, yeah. You know how many times I have to go play Digimon World 1 from, you know, 1999? Jesus Christ.
I feel like a dirty beggar on the street, like, a Digimon game for us, please? Like, it's just like, come on, Bandai. I don't know how. It's really, you know, we've spoken about Bandai in the past and how some of their decisions just don't make sense. And part of it is financial, right? Part of it's financial. It's cost and there's risk. But how much risk are you taking by investing in a property that you have almost full reign and full control over that doesn't ever really seem to make you lose money? You want to know what makes it look like you're losing money? Your Battle Spirits game that has the logistics of the world for 100 people, maybe. Whereas you have the Digimon card game and the Digimon video games and the Digimon anime and the Digimon manga and the Digimon web comics and all this sort of stuff. And it feels like you could capitalize on it so much more. And it's like, why don't you? We're here. I would love, I had like half a thought when we were at Nats to like go up to like one of those Bandai reps, be like, hey, have you ever heard of DigiPod? The digital podcast? No? Don't listen to any of our episodes, but let me tell you what we're about. We love Digimon. We don't criticize you guys at all. As a matter of fact, we want you to just give us more Digimon. And I feel like somebody needs to like do that. Like just slap Bandai in the face and be like, hey, this Digimon stuff that you got going on over here, you know they're like starving, right? It's like taking what do they say? Stealing candy from a child,
baby. Yeah.
Stealing candy from a baby. You know, you got a whole market of people over here willing to let you manipulate them. I'm sorry to say it, but yes, I would be one of those people.
100%.
I will eat anything that Bandai gives me on a plate that says Digimon.
I've been wanting. I want an 02 remake, like they did the 01. You know, 02 is my favorite. One of my favorite ones. I love Digimon and Davis. Yeah.
Yep.
I think Ghost
like,
Game.
This is how bad we are. Like, we're so hyped for Liberators just because it's new content. Like, I'm like super excited to read chapter 2, but because like there's nothing else new going on. It's like, hopefully, I'm hoping because like Digimon Secrets was just because on their production value of it, I guess you could say, because like their translator were terrible or whatever.
They didn't have a translator. They had Google Translate.
Google Translate. My fault. Jesus Christ.
They had machine translations.
They didn't even afford a translator for it. My God.
Hey, they can never afford a translator because they always messing up with the cards, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, clearly. them unpaid interns are struggling out there or something. I don't know. But like, we're so like starving for like content that is like literally is like the newest thing is just so hyped to be able to get something because it's like there's nothing else happening. Like, it's just like, oh my god, it's just so bad. I hope they capitalize on it. I hope there's like they see like a lot of people reading it. Clearly, they saw their site crash because so many people were trying to read it worldwide as well. And I'm hoping that maybe that will lead to them realizing, hey, you know, this is working. This is pretty good. Get more people, more eyes on it. Hopefully, you know, they just go ham with it. Hey, you can make a Digimon video game out of it. You can do, you know, obviously the sim. You can make a Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel version out of it or something. I don't know. You could do so many things with it if you decide to really want to do it.
I think they really shot themselves in the foot with Ghost Game because Ghost Game was such a departure from what they've done as a Digimon series because it was episodic in nature. It was Monster of the Week up until the last 5-ish episodes where then you got to see some of the makings of the storyline, but then it wasn't wrapped up properly because they was shut down. Right. So like obviously Digimon worked prior, right? They had, I mean, fucking Cross Wars spanned 3 series in Japan. Yeah. We got like, I think half of the dub of season 1 over here. Fusion Wars or so Fusion Wars, but then it spanned 2 more seasons in Japan. So, and then they had Appmon, which say whatever you want about it.
That killed Digimon.
Sure, 100%. Say whatever you want about it, but it completed a season.
Yeah.
And then you come and you bring out Ghost Game, which is a departure from what you've done previously with building a story, because you went with Monster of the Week. I know myself, bless you, I was interested in it, but I was just like, oh, we're just finding out like what the problem is to fix this week. Like I knew it was a Monster of the Week before it became Monster of the Week, and I was just like, oh, okay, well, they're not all that interesting to me anymore. And I never finished Ghost Game, and I never will. And now I don't even care for Ghost Game because I'm just like, ugh. Like I feel like they shot themselves in the foot with it, and because of that, they're afraid to do anything else with it. And it's like, read your audience. You ask us all these polls, you put them out on a regular basis, and we're like, please give us more.
Yeah, they need to,
and they're just like,
it's like Dan said, they need to like work on not just the card game, but just give the fans something, because that's what's gonna help fun. Like if you can feed the fans, that's what's gonna help fun, keeping Digimon going, keeping the show, games, comics, whatever, TCG. It's gonna keep going. You're gonna have an endless supply. That's how you gain more people to be interested in the game. Like, oh, dude, I love Digimon. You know they have a card game, right? I love playing cards. I'm tired of getting OTK'd in Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's go play this game because I like Digimon, Yeah, or I'm tired. Yeah, or I'm tired of playing Karakuri and One Piece. Let's go try something else, But, yeah, it's just, I don't know what Bandai's doing over there with Digimon. I feel like it sucks because, like I said, it was my childhood. It just feels like a part of me getting ripped out. Like, honestly, when I sit here and play One Piece, or like I say, like, I have this running joke where like I'm gonna retire soon because I don't like where the game state's going for Digimon, and it's like, every time I said that, or every time I talk to players and they go, "You still play?" I'm like, nah, like not really. Like it kind of tears me apart because that's where I met most of you guys at, and that's where like I've made some of the funniest memories, the fun memories, and met some great people in the community. And it sucks because like I feel like that part of my life is getting like taken away now, and because the company doesn't care to fix the game, but they're over here helping other IPs or other games like just fire off, because they know the fan base.
No, that's a very valid point. And to that, I have a question. I know there's a good portion of the community who feels like, I mean, you know what they say, money is the root of all evil, right? So we can do with that saying as we want, but it boils down to, when you play a card game, you like to see some sort of value in what you're playing. Because, when you're spending money on a subscription basis, on a reoccurring basis, when you're spending, let's say, a new set, it drops every 3 months and you buy 2 boxes, $160. So spread out over 3 months, let's just say your monthly subscription cost is something like $40-50. You're paying that much money a month. You want to see a return. You don't want to just be like, I'm pouring all this money into this cardboard that, I like it, I play it, I enjoy it, but that's it. I just enjoy it. I think for a lot of players, especially the competitive players, you said it yourself, you chase the competitive scene, but also the money is there. The fact that you said that shit sells for like 15 grand on average is like bonkers. 15 grand changes people's lives, bro. Yeah. You know how I do a 15 grand right now?
Oh yeah.
I'll take a fucking hiatus from work.
Honestly, I think he can correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember everyone knows Jackson Wong. Jackson Wong, phenomenal player in Digimon. Now he's a phenomenal player in One Piece, and he's just a phenomenal card player. I think I talked to him. I had to pull the receipts, but I think he mentioned one time. If he watches this, he can correct me, but I think he mentioned one time that off some of the cereals, he 3 to 4 of the cereals he won, he paid off his house mortgage, or helped him pay off his house mortgage with that. So
Jesus Christ.
You're right. It is life changing, right? It is life changing. Yeah. And plus, it can also help get you the money to travel. That's the big part of the card game right now is traveling, right? Yes. You go top an event in One Piece, you cash out. See you next event. Top again. See you the next event.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just I think, and we go back to card value, right? Give me 2 secrets outside of Ruin Mode and Death Decks that are worth that price, or around that price, worth more than $20.
Arena.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We're Arena, so we'll say Arena, $20.
That's why I say Arena.
Yep. There's no other secrets
outside of that.
Besides probably Magna coming out next, right? Magna Rapid.
I think it'll be an expensive one, yeah. But the ones that we have so far, I think probably the closest one is Melga, which isn't even 20. That's like 17, 18 base art.
Yeah, and it's just there's no value. There's no return besides if you pull Death Decks or Rune, because they're staples in decks now. They're really good. Even when they weren't staples, they're $50, $60 because they're so good of a card. And I think a lot of players, like I said before, they look at the return value and they're like, well, I'm not making anything on Digimon, so why waste my time in winning the topping or winning the events when I could just go
pay off my fucking mortgage.
Yeah, go help pay off my mortgage or buy a new car, or go travel, go do what I want to do. Yeah, pay off student loans.
I think you've been talking about. I think a way to possibly fix regional pricing is making the serialized cards, but important cards, maybe a Death X serialized. Do you know how
I would say Death X serialized. I would say a Death X alternate art for top 64. Not everyone gets
But even just that, but if you put a Death X all art and it's also a serialized number, I think that's you skyrocket value instantly.
Yeah,
because it's
a card that people want. Yeah,
exactly, and people are going to be willing to pay because it's card games. And I don't know about $1,200 or something, but it could be a $1,000 thing or something. $12,000. That's what I meant before. A $12,000 car. I don't know about that. Because you mentioned.
I don't think we'll hit those levels.
But you tell me a couple G's, it could be 100%. I think
they give us meta relevant cards.
Relevant. Cards are 100% relevant. Maybe secret rares and make them even more chased after and serialized with all arts or something with it. That's something that could be done as well. Not just the Omni, which is cool as a playable card that people would want, but you need other stuff for future to make it relevant.
Imagine going to a tournament, right? And you get top 64. And you get a play set of alternate arts, training boosts or memory boosts. Something like that.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. Yeah. And it would be perfect because it's a perfect way to reprint them. You get them cheaper, but at the same time, here's a whole new set that's alternate art. It's a new chase card now. They're played in every deck. Like, you can make it the participant pack. I have no problems getting training boosts from my regional participant pack because I'm already spending what, $40-ish for one of each, $30 to $40. I'm fine getting up a set of those for my participant pack.
Or like you mentioned earlier, you know, we talked about the Dawn, right? Instead of Digi sleeves, give us Digi eggs that are relevant in the meta. You know, like you get this entry pack. Here's a Tokomon, right? Alternate art, alternate art Tokomon. People are gonna play that. It's a main egg, right? People will play for that, and it's just like, I feel like they just need to print relevant cards. They also need to like talk to their dev team about like how cards like. I'm gonna say this personally. I hate you purple players. I am tired of purple since Beelzemon because I forgot who said, but they mentioned that Bandai actually came out and said from the Beelzemon starter deck, the reason that they wanted to make purple an easier deck to assess and an easier deck for people to pilot, because we all know back in the day, purple was a skillful deck and it took the right pilot to play it. Now 100%. Purple is like a deck that's like it's I'm not gonna say so. There's still more skill to it, but like it's a deck that anyone can play and be like fine with it.
Beelzemon is a dead brain deck.
I hate that deck. No, I'm just kidding. That deck ruined my tournament runs with Crossheart. I love Crossheart decks. I cannot outpace that deck with Crossheart, but I love Crosshearts. Levia. We'll look at Leviamon. We'll look at Anubis. Look how strong Anubis was. It was like
Anubis is such a cracked card.
Like they need to practice their cards. Like they need to look at their cards before like they play it.
You know, we say that, right? But then let's just take a quick look at One Piece. How about the new 10-drop Linlin and Kaido?
Actually, it's crazy because like when that came out, we were like, oh, that's pretty good. But then we look at it, and now with like Black, what Black does, it reduces and removes it. Like it would be crazy if it was on play, but since it's when attacking, it gives your opponent, you know, time to remove it. They can remove it. You know, like right now we say it's a mediocre card, but we'll see how it really plays.
Yeah, we'll see how it turns out.
It is a crack card, but if it was on play, because they don't have rush, you know.
Yes, exactly.
Dragon Ball, they have rush, which is crazy. If that was in Dragon Ball, I'm like, no way.
Yeah, but One Piece suffers from the same problem. And you said, we'll wrap up here in a little bit, but one thing you alluded to, you said you was thinking about maybe like retiring from One Piece soon?
No, what Digimon?
Or was that you talking about Digimon? Okay.
But I always make that joke. I'm not gonna retire. Okay. Until the game dies. Like I said, I love this game. It's always gonna find a way to grab and pull me back. You know, I think my worst time was, and this is because it was ego hit for me, was during BT7. I played Blue Hybrid. Yep, I played
Jackson
Blue Hybrid.
Was out here tearing it up with Blue Hybrid. Yep.
I remember the day I learned Blue Hybrid. The night before, I was watching Chungman. Shout out to Chungman. He's probably one of my favorite players. I love talking to that guy. I talked to him about Jim and One Piece, and I actually got One Piece and Digimon a lot. I watched him 20-0 me, Ying, and Dan in the same night. Dan Vang with Blue Hybrid. Yeah, he 20-0'd. He went with Dan first. Then when Ying's like, let me get a crack at him. And then I think he also did GFG. He did the guy Ben from GFG, the guy that does like all like the animation stuff. Played him, beat him, and then I was like, play me. I have this yellow purple hybrid. I should be fine. Destroyed me. 20-0'd us. We go back. I'm watching the clip because like recorded it, you know. Dissected his deck, kind of find out the ratios. We all did the same. Built that deck. Took it to locals. Went undefeated with my buddy. We just split the pricing because we're not playing this mirror because we don't know the deck yet. That same weekend, PPG regionals. I go X1, get top 4. Lose a mirror match to just because I misplayed because I don't know how to play the deck. Play the whole deck out. I'm dominating events, everything. GFG wins GFG Mondays. Back when True Champion Gaming did Tuesdays. Mario wins. I was just dominating all these tournaments, right? What comes to regionals hasn't started yet. Treasure Cups hasn't started. I'm feeling myself. Everyone knows about Blue Hybrid at this point. I shit the bed. I get all down because my ego's so high that I'm like, I'm done with this game. I'm tired of it. And then I did stop for a bit, but then, I did talk to Dan. I did talk to Ying. I talked to some of my buddies. They pulled me back. They reminded me how fun it could be. And like I said, this game's always going to pull me back because it's a fun game. It's like I said, I met all these great people through the communities. Like I met Dan Bang back in 2002 because we had he was playing Imperial. I was playing Ceresmon. And it's funny, we always make this joke that he's Davis, I'm Kin, because he hit me the first game. He killed me with, he OTK'd me with Imperial Dramon. Game 2, I fucking punched him with a bunch of Stingmon and killed him with a bunch of Stingmon. And then game 3, we both brick, but obviously, he got there faster. And it's like, and then after that, we just always the meme where, if Imperial comes back, I'm like, all right, I'm going to play a bunch of Sting. He's like, yeah, I do it. It'll be funny. But, I created all these great friends, memories, all these people I met. And they did help me through the lowest of my lows, and they were there for my highest of my highs. So that's why this game will never leave my heart until they killed the game off. But I'm always down for them to reboot it to give me a leader and a counter. That's what I want.
Digimon with a leader. That'd be an interesting one. But so the reason that I ask that is because I look at I see the One Piece cards that come out, and I've always had this issue with One Piece. I started in set 1, loved it. It was great. It was a great time to be alive. Everything was fair. And then set 2 came around, and Zoro became Zoro, and Whitebeard became Whitebeard. And I was like, all right, cool. We out. And then I came back right on the end of set 4 into set 5, and I was like, okay, so Zoro's still kind of an issue, not as big an issue. Game's in a better state now. But I feel like Dragon Ball, it's a very diverse. I love Dragon Ball. I played DBS. DBS was super fun. It got power crept to all hell, but it was still fun. I still enjoyed playing it. I have this problem with One Piece where I don't know how you power creep that game and still keep it sane and enjoyable, right? Because of the Dawn system. I'm curious to what you think about the state of that going forward, and then also putting that into the state of Digimon, because it feels like Digimon's about to enter that next stage of power creep sooner than later. Don't know how soon, but I'm just curious to hear your thoughts on that.
I think the problem is interaction, and I think a lot of players like interaction. And the reason I say that because I know a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh pros that are jumping from Yu-Gi-Oh to One Piece, obviously for prizing, but they coming from a game with high interaction. And One Piece does have a lot of interaction. You have the counterplay, you have the life system, you have the leader effects, you have blocking. It's. I like card games to interact with people, and that's why I said I think Digimon needs something outside of security, blocking, and blast saves. Obviously, I don't really consider blast saves as interaction because just like you mentioned it, Dan, earlier, if I see that black level 5, that thing's gone before you can even blast saves, right?
Yeah.
So. And that's what I don't remember when Blast Saves came out. People were like, "Oh my god, it's so busted! This is we're going to Yu-Gi-Oh hand jobs." Dude,
yeah.
If you just swing with you swing with Marcus, Shine Green minus is 10k on its own. That level 5 is gone. That level 4 is gone. What's gonna happen? The Blast Saves doesn't happen, so now you have a dead card in your hand, right? So that's why I feel like Digimon just needs interaction, and I know a lot of people. We said power grip, right? And I'm gonna use BT9 as a perfect example of power grip because that was a set that probably sent people packing, getting tired of this game. Because one, it was OTK format, worst mistake ever they could do because there's no interaction in this game. But it's basically let's play rookie, Evo, rookie in the back, play searcher. I found my line, promote, swing. You're playing an OTK deck. You need your pieces, so you're not playing a sec mob. Okay. Let's go next. Do it again. It's who could find their variants faster, and I feel like they're leaning away from the BT9. At first, it was going for a while. It was hiding the raising and promote later, right? But now I feel like Digimon is escaping that method and allowing us to do more things. I love the delay option of the Biting Crush because to me that's interaction on your turn. You play a body, special summon, pop it. Here comes my big old crocodile to pop your board. You know, I love that interaction with that. I feel like they need to have more cards like that. Like, you know, I'm biased with it because I'm a SecCom player, but I would love to like be able to use options on your turn, but the cost of the memory. So like, say you promote, right, and I'm like, you're swinging. I'm like, nah, I'm a counter with by playing Wyvern's Breath from hand, but it's 8 memory, so you're gonna gain the 8 memory back, but you're losing your mon. Okay, go ahead, your turn. You're able to play still, right? Like I would like to have, you know, not something like you be able to play Wyvern's Breath, but like keep it minimum. Like give like us able option to activate like maybe minus security or minus like 3000 DP in hand or Digivolve 1 from hand, right? But at the memory cost. I feel like if they had that interaction, I feel like Digimon would be fine if it got power crept as it keeps going. Because I feel like One Piece, like they release all these crazy ass cards, but still like the interaction and skill of players kind of make it a balance, because some players might know how to use it to advantage and some players might use it to disadvantage. So it just, there's a balance into that.
That's a good point. That's a fair point. So we are going to wrap it up there. Do we have any parting words for our listeners and our viewers? As Mikey would say, wrap it before you tap it.
Yeah, I recommend everyone pick up Venus Spawn right now. Just saying. It's how you beat Magna X. Don't ask me how, because you should know already.
Because you should know already.
You should know that you can evo into Venus, even though Magna is protected. But at the end of your turn, Venus Sec -1 will activate again, and then your opponent's turn, and he can't do when Digivolving effects. So when they swing at your security, and they try to proc to all turns, it doesn't activate. So that's how you get rid of Magna X. Just letting you guys know.
Hashtag, I don't want to say yellow's best color, because me and yellow are not in speaking terms right now. But I do still unfortunately like my yellow.
Magna X got ways you can out it. It's not this giant thing that's the most unbeatable thing ever, and people feel crying that the apocalypse is coming with Magnum on X. It's like, relax. There's ways to get around it.
I think that's also too what Dan mentioned is like people need to stop being scared when they see this busted ass card come out, right? The set hasn't came out yet, so start looking at the card pool and be like, I could play this, I could play this. It's like the synergy in the tech cards, right? We talked about earlier. Start finding those cards now and think about it, because there's so many ways that deck is so vulnerable that people don't know, and it's like, okay, like find out. Like, look at me, I don't even play the game anymore. I just read the cards. I'm like, okay, I know how to get rid of that card. I know how to get rid of the stack. Like it's hard, guys. Just read your cards.
Yeah, it's how you take that step from, you know, whatever level player you are into that next level, and that's how you become top tier players. So, with that being said, do that. Do exactly that. Go pick up your Venus Mons. It's too late to pick up your Rune Motes, so I can't say you can pick those up. But East did say to pick up your Protoforms, and who just topped with a Protoform in their deck? None other than Antics, who you guys should be checking out. So you should pick up your fucking Protoforms too.
Pick up X-Antes too, just regular X-Ante, because imagine swinging with your Magnets like 21k, you're like, X-Ante Evo into Magna X, right? You can do that, right?
Yeah, you can swing Magna and go into Magna X. Yep.
Because of the black text box, right? Yeah, I was making sure. I don't want to be like, you know.
No, you're fine.
No cheat. You said no cheating. Well, actually, yeah, no cheating. Don't cheat. Because if you cheat, not only would he find you, but I'll find you. That's for another day, but don't cheat, because
it's for another day.
It is bad for you. We will find you. You'd be memed. You'll forever be known as a cheater. And I won't respect you.
Y'all are. Okay, no, I thought I saw Protoforms at $40. I was like scared for a second. Oof. They are expensive though, like $16, $16 and $30. So yeah, I should sooner than later.
Oh, like, yeah, they're there. I have one. I pulled one. I'll keep that one. That's all you need, one.
Oh man. So with that being said, that is it for today's episode of DigiPod, the digital podcast. Until we talk to you guys next time, peace out.
Peace.
Catch you on the next one.